Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about having a Libra Venus or Venus in Libra, however you want to look at it, in a natal chart. Now, first off, some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on Venus placements in the natal chart. They're a little bit concise, and some people may refer to them as snappy. So what I decided to do was make another series in which they would be a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, first thing up, well, Venus in astrology, of course, is associated with our relationships and our important, significant friends. And these people, one or more of these people may actually be a Libra Sun, Moon, or Ascendant person, or embody the characteristics of the Sun. These people may be very charming, refined, equitable, fair, persuasive, cooperative, but yet could be ambivalent and decisive. And another thing is it could be in one or more of these people can be in a Libra profession as well. It could be, people that are in, an art profession such as drawing, painting, or sculpting, or interior decoration, fashion design, a position in the arts, such as being an actor or actress or musician, whether it's singing, playing the piano, playing the saxophone as some examples, or even doing something with the law, such as working as an attorney, or a paralegal, bailiff, or judge, as some examples. Now, another thing about having your Venus and Libra in a natal chart. Venus is connected with love and the things that we love, things that we enjoy and are enamored with. So having your Venus in Libra, there may be a strong enjoyment of intellectual sociability, bouncing ideas off others, artistic endeavors. Of course, that can cover a large divergence of things, whether it's drawing, painting, sculpting, abstract art, animated art, um, graphic art design as some examples. Person may love fashion design, and could be interior decoration. It could be that things that are sports that are associated with balance, such as tennis or gymnastics. Uh, could also be playing like a game that involves balance like Jenga. Some of you may remember an old time game was Don't Tip the Waiter. I think that might have had something to do with balance, but you want to, go confer that and look that up on the internet. So, another thing is that Venus in astrology is connected with our self-worth, our self-esteem, and how we feel about ourselves. So having your Venus in Libra in your natal chart, things that may make you feel, good about yourself and enhance your self-worth, can be connected, with intellectual sociability, being able to bounce ideas off other people, and just for having relationships in general. It could be having romance, having that, just having, that significant other in your life, and just being able, just to have, peace, and being able also just to have balance in your life. It could be, playing sports, again, as I was stating before, that are connected with balance, such as tennis or gymnastics. These things can be such where they could, promote, your self-worth if you have this placement in your natal chart. So another thing too is that Venus in astrology, is associated with our latent talents and abilities. So having your your Venus and Libra in your natal chart, of Libra Venus, these talents and abilities can be associated again with art. Just talking about before, which could be drawing, painting, sculpting, abstract art, animated art, graphic art design, doing, and it could be also doing something with fashion as well. It could be fashion design. Um, it could also be doing something. I mean, being somewhat flippant here, it could be some work with scales, but scales are, connected, with Libra, whether it's scale. it could be scale production, scale designing as some examples, and really the games of balance, as I stated before. You have the games of balance like Jenga or that don't tip the waiter. I believe this also has to do with balance, and also the sports associated, say, with equilibrium and balance, again, such as gymnastics or tennis, as some examples. It could be walking on a tightrope, could be balancing too, and that has to do with balance. So something again that is associated with balance and equilibrium. Um, Now, another thing about Venus in astrology, it's connected with money. It could show our attitudes toward money and how we make money. With maybe a field that someone may be making money in. So having your Venus and Libra in your natal chart, as far as money goes, you may want, balance and equilibrium with it. You may be a person, and especially if you're in some, situation with a significant other, things to be equitable and really emphasize like a fair price on an item when you go to a store to buy something. Another thing is that you might be a little bit relaxed in the money department, and as an example, maybe sometimes you might take it easy for a little bit if you have made a good amount of money. If you're in a situation where you feel like, oh, okay, I could take a day off or two, or like say you have your own business or something. So you got to be careful as far as that goes. But money may be made, working in some field associated with the law, again, such as working as attorney, a paralegal, a judge, or bailiff as some examples, or doing something in an artistic endeavor. It could be working arbitration. There may be more of a propensity to get money through a lawsuit with this placement, working as a diplomat, being in human resources, or working in jewelry, such as selling jewelry or jewelry repair. Could be interior decoration is another example. Um, Venus is also connected with our possessions. So having Venus and Libra in your natal chart, you may have more, possessions than average, that are associated with art. I understand regardless of astrological placements, many people can have these possessions, but they may be more emphasized with this placement as opposed to most others. Such as like artistic possessions, whether it's drawings, painting, sculpting. It could be scales. You might have more than one scale in your home. Things that are connected. It could be beauty, cosmetics. Cosmetics more with women, of course, to be more emphasized with them. Um, Things that are just aesthetically appealing, whether it's a couch or some kind of furniture you may have. Could be tennis equipment, because tennis again connected with Libra, a sport of balance. Maybe a balancing beam, we'll be able to flip it with that. And also, doing could be musical instruments as well. And you may desire more fairness in matters of your possessions. Like, say, if you loan somebody something you have, you may often want it back. At that time, that was stated. That might be more emphasized with you, more so than usual. And you wouldn't want people taking advantage of you as far as your possessions go. So you may give people a fair amount of time to return in that instance. Also, too, Venus is connected with the food that we enjoy and that we may love to indulge in. So having your Venus in Libra, it could be just simply having, a balanced, fair diet. You know, a food that could come to mind would be apples, because you could have that balance of, the sugary taste and then the sour taste, a little equilibrium with both. I'd say refined carbs, but I'm being facetious with that one. It could be having, like elegant and like sophisticated cuisines and food, you know, a bacon wrapped pork tenderloin. That can be, maybe that could be an example, I would think. And now, another thing about Venus in astrology is that it's associated with our values. And having your Venus and Libra in your natal chart, you may strongly value peace, justice, you know, um, fairness, having things equitable in matters, and really doing things with, as far as what the law, working, within the, parameters of the law. It could be, compromise, refinement as well, having harmony, having order in your life, even arbitration, negotiation, as some examples. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.